Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Um, Knocking out my weekend review of the small account. Didn't get to do it last week because we had the hurricane and all of the stuff dealing with that. So this is gonna really cover 2 weeks, and I did miss a couple days anyway because of the storm. So it only made sense to just cover the first 2 weeks. And also, I'm going to go over how I use trade ideas. I had a lot of questions about um, the scans I use, and how I use trade ideas, and then how you can build your own scan. So I'm going to cover that here once we look at the stats on this small account. And you can see here, October 1st, we started 15, 22, 32. Well, actually, it was October 3rd because they pull the fees and stuff didn't come out until then. But, that's where we started, 15, 22, 32. The balance on Friday, 2476.01, which is a gain of 953.68 or 62.64%. So we gained that in 2 weeks. And that's not bad to almost get $1,000, and then we didn't even trade every day in those first 2 weeks. The other thing that was a pleasant surprise was that I have a goal of $100 a day for this month. And once the account gets up to maybe 3,000, a little bit over, then it'll probably go up to 150 a day. But the thing is, I don't focus on making that each day. That's just a goal that at the end of the week, if I haven't averaged $100 a day, I need to go back and look and see why I'm not doing that. Am I cutting the trades off too soon? Am I not getting good entries? So that's the only reason I use that goal is I should be able to hit that without any problem. I don't sit there and look at my P&L and say, well, I've only got $90 a day. I need to make 10 more, because what happens, you end up thinking that you're going to get a quick 10 cent move, and the thing moves against you, and you hold, and you end up losing all your money you made that day. And if you're trading a small account, it takes a lot to get to 100. If you lose 100, it's gonna take you twice as hard. It's gonna be twice as hard to get it back, because you have to make up the 100 that you lost, and then you're gonna get back to green. So I don't look at it that way. I trade for skill, and that's what I preach, and that's what I promote. Not trading for money. If you sit there and trade for monetary goals every day, it's going to mess you up, and it's going to cause you more stress and more strain. I trade to get the best entry, to hit my profit stops or my stop loss, if it happens to hit it. Staying consistent, sticking to my plan. I'm booking profits, not trying to top tick and bottom tick a stop. Just catch the meat of the move. And that's all we need to do. And if we do that, we're going to be consistent, and we're going to consistently grow this account. So this is where we are now. These are some stats that I look at. I download all of my trades to Profitly. You can download it directly from your broker. In this case, it comes directly from iBoss. The only thing I notice sometimes is you get, a couple dollars off here and there. And I think it's got to do with the fees and stuff. I mean, that's all I could think of. Because the entries and the exits of the trades are right. And when I download them, it's just sometimes the fees are off. And then you see over here, in this case, they're averaging up, or averaging down. They're getting to the closest whole number versus, putting the whole dollar amount in. So I don't know if that causes some issues, but it's close enough to give me a good and accurate account of how I'm doing. So I look at my total trades. I took 30 altogether, which is pretty high for me, but I see now that splitting my trades up is probably going to work out a little bit better, and it's probably going to be more helpful to those that have a hard time holding and trying to hold through a pullback to get to the next big move. So we're going to look and just kind of see how that continues to work on into this week. But out of those 30 trades, 7 trades are long, 23 are short. I've got an 80% profitability, but the thing that stuck out was I was 7 for 7 on my long trades. And if you believe in the statistics, the next 3 trades I take, the next 3 long trades I take will probably be losing trades, because a lot of times the best we can hope for is to hit 7 out of 10, get a 70% average. But you see I came really close to it with the shorts. I'm at 74%. I've got 17 winners out of 23 trades. Only left me with 6 losers, so feel pretty good about that. My average profit, average winning trade, it's okay for how small I've been trading. But this I'm going to expect to go up as the months continue to move on. Average losing trade is probably going to stay about the same, because I want, $50 is my max loss that I try to stay within on this account size. So, here, this big loss here, I ended up losing my stop. I did not stick to my stop. I didn't follow the rules. This was early in the month, and I just ended up digging a hole for myself. So, that's going to be, hopefully this is going to be right, and we're going to be able to take care of that from here on out. Max consecutive winning trades, 8. I've got obviously 7 for 7 on the long trades, 4 for shorts, and my max consecutive losing trades is going to be 2, and obviously those are on shorts as well. Over here, this just gives you a breakdown of the stocks, and you can see here RSPP I traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, had 10 tickets on this, and this was just breaking up the trade. You see 41 here, 63, 53. This was a short that I missed my exit on, but it popped back up and I was able to close out. But really I should have just waited, because it did come back down, but sold myself short on that. But you can see I just broke this up into chunks and ended up that day with almost $225 profit. That was a pretty good day. Same thing with here. I broke it up, and I'm gonna feel pretty good about it, doing that. I think it was more comfortable and felt more natural to me. Now this you can see on my blog. Let me bring this up real quick. I'll show you where it's at. I've got 2. This is my blog, averagejoedaytrader.blogspot.com, and here you see this is my main account, which I'm now just doing swings in. So you won't see day trades posted there for a few, unless I take one here and there. This is my small account trades. So this, every day that I upload them, you'll see. Now you can't upload them until after midnight, so it'll probably be the next day before they get uploaded. That's when everything settles in iBoss. You can't upload these You can type these in, but I don't want to type them in. You know, I want to download them and I want them verified. So if anybody has any question, they can just go back and see, you know, that it was verified. And I'm showing you my charts, my entries and exits, and you're seeing everything, you know, on my platform. So shouldn't be any question as to the validity of these trades and whether we're actually taking them or not. All right, so let's move forward. Now we're going to look at my scans. Now I use trade ideas, and I fought this for a while, thinking that I could use my free stuff and get the same results. Well, you can't. This is probably the most powerful tool out there in terms of finding stocks to trade. If you are in chat with me, you see pretty much every stock I call out moves, is tradable, will present moves. Now, sometimes I pick the wrong stock to focus on out of the maybe 2 or 3 that's on my watch list. And sometimes all 3 of them give you opportunities. And I don't pick the best one, but I still get it. The fact is, trade ideas is what helps me find these stocks. And I don't have to search the news. I don't have to do a whole lot of reading. I don't have to do a whole lot of research. I just have these filters built, and it gives me a list in the morning, and I just quickly go through it. And just to give you an idea, this is the list from Friday, and only one of them made my watch. It was RSPP. The rest of the gold I don't touch. I don't trade gold, silver, or anything. OPTT, this was, you know, a low float, low dollar runner. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I don't trade those. NTNX, I didn't really like the news on it. I didn't think it would offer too much of a opportunity. And SYT, I didn't really like the levels. I didn't like the daily chart on it. So RSPP was the only stock that I took. And you can see I can quickly eliminate 2. So I only had 3 stocks to, I only had 3 stocks to actually vet. And all I do is I go and I look at the daily chart. I check the news. You know, just make sure that the stock is tradable and there's nothing behind it that I need to be concerned about. So the only filters that I actually use is I'm looking for at least $1 up or $1 down from close. So anything less than $1 is not going to hit this scan. So this eliminates, if you look at the big gapper scan that Ross uses every day, it eliminates like 90% of that and only gives me the stocks that are going to fit my setup the way I like to trade. And that's what you use scanners for. You don't want to scan everything. You don't want to end up with a whole bunch of tickers you have to go through because you really don't have time for that. If you take your time and build your scan and your screener around your strategy, you're going to save yourself a lot of time. And this is what works for me. So the float has to be no more than 500 million shares. So for me, I'm not looking for these low float, low dollar runners. I'm looking for, you know, higher price, more consistent, you know, stocks. But no more than 500 million share float. You know, I don't think those will move too well, so I don't mess with those. You see here I've got the price between 1 and 150. Even though I'm only trading between $10 and $100, I like to look at a variety of price ranges because a lot of times you're going to have a stock in one sector, and there are going to be some cheap stocks in that sector, and there are going to be some expensive stocks in that sector. And I need to know what is what. So, and I need to be able to determine whether the whole sector is running or whether it's just this one stock. And I could quickly figure that out, if I open my filter up a little bit. And that's why I do that. But you see, automatically, I'll just eliminate. I don't even have to look at this. I can just see the price. The volume needs to be at 50,000 shares traded pre-market. You see here, none of this. This is the volume here. This is the price of the stock. This is the volume, the current volume. If it's below 50, it's not going to hit this scan. All right. And so those are the only 4 filters that I have. These 4 filters. So this filters through thousands of stocks in the market, and it only gives me the best 4. Because it's almost like every morning I sit here and say, mirror, mirror. Instead of saying mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? I ask this to trade ideas. And they give me the best stocks that's going to give me the best opportunity for my setup, which is an opening range breakout. And that's why this is the ORB watch list scan. And then it sorts it. And that's all this does, is it sorts it the largest to the smallest. That's the change. That's all that does. This here is the dollar amount that it changed from close. This is the percent. This is the float that we're looking at. You see none of them are over 500 million. This is close, but it has that set. It's not going to give me anything. This is the short float that just gives me an idea of where that is. So in case I am looking to short it, I kind of have an idea of what's going on with it. This is stock twits. This is telling me how many hits this thing is getting on stock twits, or how much interest it's getting. Obviously, OPTT is a low dollar, low float runner. 3 million share float. That's going to get a lot of attention here. And then this one, RSPP, this wasn't a low float runner, but it was getting a lot of attention. So this is just something else to help me make my decision. I'm not using it as a filter to limit this. I'm just looking at this so that I can see where is the interest in the market this morning. And that's what this tells me. This is the percent change in volume from previous days. This tells me that this stock is trading 5.1% higher volume than it did yesterday this time. This is telling me this stock is trading 134% higher volume than it was trading yesterday at this time. So there again, you see you've got the highest hits on stock twits. You've got the highest percent and change volume on these stocks. So this is just more confirmation of telling me that these stocks are in play. And this is just the standard deviation. And it calculates, I can't remember what the formula is, but I used to use this, but I don't really use that much anymore. This is telling me how many days this stock has been going down. 2 consecutive days that it closed lower than it opened. So that's what this is telling me. And obviously this is the sector it's in, and then this is the average true range. And what this does is it gives me an idea of how much the stock moves on an average. And I like stocks that move big on an average, because that means there's more of a chance that I'm going to get a large move. Now, when you get a stock that has news and has a catalyst, it can trade 3 or 4 times, 5 times its average true range. So I'm using this to help me make my decision, because I want a stock that I know if the catalyst stops acting on it, over the last 14 days, I did get a strong enough move to where I can make some money on it. That's just what I'm looking at with the average true range. Some people don't use it. Some people dismiss it as a day trader. A lot of swing traders use this to help them set their profit targets and stops. But me, as far as a day trader, it's just something I use to help me analyze the stock before I actually get in. So this is my opening range breakout watch list scan, because everything I have on my watch, first trade I look for is an opening range breakout. Now, if I don't have any opening range breakouts and I have no watch list, this is the scan I watch. This is the 5-minute opening range scan. It's going to give me opening range breakouts or breakdowns. So it starts running at 9 o'clock, but the hits won't come until 9:35. And this runs from 9:30 to 10:30. So I won't get any hits after 10:30. At 10:30, I've switched over to reversals and looking for VWAP trades on these that actually hit the opening range scan. The ones that I like that make sense. And here again, here's the volume, the total volume for the day. This is the price of the stock, the stock tweets percent. This telling me, this is the one I traded. So this was the one that gave me the biggest hit. It had already traded 4 million shares. It's got the most hits on stock twits. Here's a percent change already. And, here's a float, and then just a company name. At this point, don't really care about the average true range. I'm not even thinking about it. But I will, I do have it on here, but I don't really care about it. And you can see these are the filters. Price between 5 and 100. Stock with a daily volume is at least 500 shares per day. The volume today needs to be at least 500,000 shares traded. And, this is just the alert. The alert starts at open, and it occurs no more than 60 minutes after the open. So that's the only range. It's just the first hour that we're going to get. We're going to get hit. And the float on these, I've got a 100 million share limit on this. So, this can change, but right now I just have a 100 million share limit. But I can move that to 500 million shares if I really wanted to. So that's my 5-minute opening range, and it's really simple. What I do is when this hits, I'll pull up the 5-minute chart, and if it looks like it's going to break out, I'm going to jump on it. And obviously at that point, I don't have levels of support or resistance. I'm just using whole and half dollar marks for my profit targets at that point. Now, say if it's a chart that I've traded in the past and I already have levels on it, that's even better, because I can then use those daily levels. But when you trade in a 5-minute opening range, a lot of times it doesn't respect the levels in the first 10 or 15 minutes anyway. So I'm just looking at whole dollar and half dollar marks. All right, next is a reversal scanner. This is not my scanner. This is a proprietary scanner that we use at Warrior Trading. So I can't really share much with this other than this is the scan that I use. If you are taking the class or have taken the class, then you have access to this same scanner. This is the one that he shows in chat every day. The only thing that I've changed on it is I changed the float and I added the ATR filter. I actually filter using the ATR now, because I was getting stuck in too many reversals that when I look at it, it only had like a 10-cent move. And I found out that those were the ones that had a low average true range. So this one is going to filter them out over $1. So not every one that hits Ross's scan is going to hit this. This is going to filter out, more than average. But this is a scan that I use after 10:30. I'm using this reversal scan to help me find my stocks to trade. And if you need to contact me, this is my contact information. We're going to move into, I'm going to show you the easy way to, you can build your own alerts. If you have trade ideas, and you can build your alerts and you can customize them and do, whatever you want to do. So let's go to, all right, so what we're going to do is bring this over. Now, part of trade ideas, this is the control panel, so to speak. So say we want to build a new alert window. Say I want to build a 5-minute opening range breakout scanner. I want to build a new one. So we could click alert window. You can do a multi-strategy window, or you can do a single stock window. What I would suggest is that you take your time and go through all of this. Once you get a new tool, you need to not only read up on it, but actually play with it. And it's going to help you, learn more about what you're doing. So when I click on this, I come up with the new strategy window. So I want to go to advanced. It keeps putting it over here. All right, when you do that, it's going to give you these settings that you used the last time you made an alert. So I'm not using this. I'm going to do, a new one from the beginning. So let's look at the specific filters that you want. Do I want to have a change from close? So what I would be trying to decide is, do I want to search just the gappers, or do I want to bring in the ones that have been over $1? Like I have my 5-minute, like I have my watch list. Do I want to bring in these that may be over $1, or down over $1? So if that's the case, this is the percent one. This isn't going to work. So you have to click on more, and then you just go through here, and then you find the filters that you want. So I'm going to go through. Let me see if I could find what I'm looking for. Well, actually, let's go ahead and do the 5-minute range. And we're not looking for percent. I'm looking for $. Okay, I'm looking for it to break over the price, not a percent. So I'll click add filter. So I want to add that filter in. So now I do want to look for the change from close. So you can type it in. Instead of going through the whole list, you can do this. Type it in. Sorry about that. I don't want this subscription. We got it. There it is. Change from close. We want the dollar amount. So we'll click on it and add filter. So let's go back here and let's see what we got. We don't want this. I mean, you can remove this, or you can click hide unused, and it will take away the ones that you don't want. So the relative volume, we want it to. I wanted to trade at least 500,000 shares. At least. There's no maximum. I just want a minimum 500,000 shares. Now the volume, do I want a 1 minute volume? Not really. If I want to set a limit for a volume, let's say I want to have 250,000 shares traded in that first 5-minute candle. That if it didn't trade at least 250,000 shares, it's not going to hit my scan. That means I have come to the conclusion that if a stock doesn't trade this 250,000 shares, it's not worth me watching because it's not going to set up. Or the amount of times it's set up is, not going to give me good odds. All right, so the price range, I'm looking at 5 to 100. Volume today, this is a percent. I'm not going to use a percent because I've got the actual share count. How many alerts? We're not going to count that. 5-minute, the 5-minute range. We're not going to set that because that's going to be, for the alert. When we select alerts, that's what we're going to do. Change from close, we want $1 here and minus $1 here. All right, so we're going to click OK. So these are our filters. We want to go back and review our filters. Stock where price is between $5 and 100. Stocks where the current volume is at least 2. I got to go back and fix that. Stock where the volume today. Oh no, that's I'm sorry, that's right. Stocks where the volume today is at least 500 shares. Stocks where the volume in the last 5 minutes is at least 250% of normal. Nope, this is not what I want. Okay, so I'm going to have to go back. I don't want the percent. And this is why you want to go back and double check this, because it's easy to make mistakes. And you want where it was up at least $1 from the previous close and down at least $1 from the previous close. All right, so let's go back. Window specific filter. See, we don't want that. We don't want volume percent. So if we want to do this, then we would need to go to volume 5 minutes. Let's see more. We should get it up here. All right, so we can't set it the way we want to. This is only going to give us a percent, and that's not what I want. So they don't have it. They may have it, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to go searching for it. So because what I wanted to do is to filter out. I want a stock to have at least 250,000 shares traded in that first 5 minutes. If I could get that filter, and it's not a percent, it's a dollar amount. I mean, an actual numerical value, actual share value, then I'd be happy with that. So okay, we're done with these. We just have these 4 filters here. So now I want to select alerts. So alert, we're looking for 5-minute opening range breakout. There we go. Add alert. So let's do more. Let's do 5-minute opening range breakdown. Add alert. I don't want a new high. So I want to use these two. I don't want a new high alert. So we're going to click OK. And so now we have the 5-minute opening range breakout alert, 5-minute opening range breakdown. Okay, so we're going to click OK. And it makes a scan. Now, you see this. This isn't the name I want. It says change from. That's not the name I want. So I'm going to have to click configure, advanced. I'm just going to go to the summary because it's easy for me to change the name here. So I could do 5. I can just name it. Five-minute opening range. 5-minute opening range. And I'll just leave it at that. Click OK. Alright, so now we got the name changed. So how you can use this. Now one thing that I like to do, and I'll show you this and then we'll get out of here. I like to use this to backtest. Say you want to backtest this filter to see if it's going to give you any good, hits. You can go back and use the historical feature and use the time frame. Let's say you want to start with last Monday, which was the 3rd. All right, let's do the 3rd here. And your start time is going to be, let's say 9 a.m. We'll say 9 a.m. And on 10/3, your start time is going to be, let's say 11 a.m. And click OK. So what this is going to do is going to give you all of the stocks that would have hit your filter, that would have hit your scan on Monday, October 3rd. October 3rd, Monday, between 9 and 11, these are the stocks that's going to hit your scan. So how do we use this? Real quick, I'll pull up my Thinkorswim chart here, and we'll go back to the 3rd. Let's see what looks pretty good. CTSH. Let's look at that one. That one was the first one that hit at 9:36. So let me bring my. Okay, so let's find the 3rd. Right here. This is Monday the 3rd. So here's an opening range breakout right here. This is the scan. Let me bring the scan up so we can see it here. I need to find the one that we just made. That's what I can't find. Hold on. Move this over here. Sorry for the logistical problems that I'm having here. All right, so we're looking at CTSH. It hit our scan at 936.50. The breakout price 50.03. So now the problem with this is not going to hit our scan until it's made all of this move. Okay? This is where you're going to have to be pretty quick to make the decision whether you want to trade this or not. Now, for instance, if you want to, if you're just starting this and you just want to try to learn this and try to learn how to trade this using this scan, I would set this to a 2-minute opening range. And once it hit the 2-minute opening range, it's still going to filter out these stocks. You're still going to only get stocks that are going to actually give you these powerful moves, but you'll catch it early. So you'll catch the 2-minute and you'll start watching it so that when it hits the 5-minute opening range breakout, you can take this. And look, this was a beautiful trade. And I actually, and what I've started doing is once this 5-minute candle prints, and I'm watching this open, and this pulled back almost a VWAP. When it pulls back and it gets brought back up, I'm jumping in this. And I'm risking it on VWAP. So this gives me a more solid technical level to risk a 5-minute opening range breakout off of the VWAP versus the high of the body of this candle. This will be my risk right here, a close below the body of this candle. But if I can set my risk and get in close to VWAP, then that's going to be my risk. And in this case, since I'm looking at this chart and I don't have levels yet, my target's going to be this 200 moving average coming in. You know, this is a 200 SMA on the 5-minute. So my target, I'd have gotten in here. My target would have been the 200. Now, when you see a stock like this, there's no guarantee that you can nail it when it gets here. You know, even if you have an order out already. You know, I've tried and they just jump over it. So the only thing I do is when it hits this, when I see this price on level 2, I mark it out. So even if I get some slippage, I'm still going to nail the trade. You know, remember what I'm telling you. Remember what I said. We're not trying to top tick or bottom tick a trade. All we're trying to do is nail a meter to move. All right, so let's look at see, GLD I probably wouldn't have really looked at. Let's look at Taser. Because, you know, look at the volume in 1 minute. This was good. This is pretty solid. This is pretty sad right here. So when this hit, I wouldn't be interested in it. Taser, I like this. Look at the volume. You know, look at that. That is, you know, something that's of interest. So let me look at Taser here. And this will be the last one we look at. On the 3rd, is this the 3rd? I'm not sure. Yep, this is the 3rd right here. All right, so Taser was a 5-minute opening range breakdown. And look at this. You know, we didn't get a strong move down, but we did get a breakdown. You know, here's an entry right here, or you could have taken it off the fail push of VWAP. That would have been a nice entry there, risking off of VWAP, getting in for the 5-minute opening range breakdown. And here's a good spot right here to you know, look for 25. Here's the whole dollar mark. Remember I told you in these I'm looking for whole and half dollar marks. Here I would have gotten in just above the half dollar mark or possibly closer to VWAP. Depending on how it acted here, I could have taken some profit here or taken it off and then reset right here at 25.50 for the move down to 25. Using this 25.50 as your guide, that if you get a candle, if this candle turns around and closes back above it, stop out. You want to save as much of this profit you already booked but you're looking for the next leg down. And this would have given you another, solid entry. But that's just my theory. That's the way I look at trades. This is already 45 minutes, so I didn't intend on it being any more than 30 minutes. But that's all I had. I just wanted to share that with you because I did get a lot of requests, and people asked me about the scanners I use and then how to build these scanners. And that was just a quick lesson. The traders that hire me to be their mentor, there's some that I teach them how to build these scanners. I teach them how to build scanners and Thinkorswim, how to set up stuff. I mean, whatever, that's what I do. But I just wanted to give you a quick overview of how to build, how you can quickly build a little alert scanner. And as you get more experience with it, then you can build multi-strategy windows where you can have one window that will feed you multiple strategies. So you don't have to have all of these windows all over the place. So, just the possibilities are limitless is what I'm saying. So everybody have a great night. We're going to see you bright and early tomorrow morning in chat. And hopefully we can nail some trades. So see you then.